Hello, today we are talking about internship insights, and I have a guest, Zabibu. So, if you would like to introduce yourself and share with us your major.
Well, hi guys. My name is Abibu Zakaria, and I am majoring in social work here at Kirkwood.
Awesome. Very good. And to kind of start you off, I'm curious, what is your favorite class so far? And what are some of the things that you're learning?
Well, I love psychology, but I would say my favorite right now is definitely probably substance abuse and treatment.
Okay.
And I think I like the class because, well, we not only learn about like the substances, we do learn about like how how chemical affects your like thoughts and behavior. We do
Hmm,
learn about how to recognize it, like recognizing you know, the things, so the symptoms of like
sure.
when somebody is like abusing substances. And I think that is just cool in a way because if you know a thing or two about substance abuses and all that things, you could save a friend or a family member.
Hmm,
So that is the reason why it's my favorite because we learn about so many things, substances, how to treat them, how do you recognize them, and it's just so cool. That's the reason why.
that's awesome. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing. And I can see how all of that information is going to be great for being in the social work
Oh yes.
program. So I would like if you could share with us where you completed your internship and what were your responsibilities there?
Well, I did my internship in the Trio. Trio is a student support service. We kind of like serve student with like first generation student
Okay.
with disability, and also low income students. And I was an advisor, well, peer advisor to be precise, because I
Very
was doing
nice.
an internship. But my responsibility were like I will recruit students. So things like we go to orientations and we'll like kind of like talk to students. Hey, do you know
Sure.
what Trio is? We have these three basic requirements. Do you think you meet any of them? If
Mhm.
you do well, and if you would like to join, I can explain what it is, who we
Sure.
serve. We help with like applying for scholarships,
Hmm.
filling in the financial aid applications. And so, like, kind of just tell them that and recruit them. If you would like to apply, here you go. You can go to this website. Other than that, I met with students one on one and kind of just like advising them on kind of like
Sure.
helping them enroll in classes. If they're doing pretty bad in classes, we'll kind of talk about if they need tutoring, we'll kind of like show them resources of where like they could get help. And that's pretty much what I did. Once students get recruited, they will like kind of like I will do an intake with them.
Sure.
Yeah, so like just what they need help with. Do they need tutoring? How many times will they like to be meeting with an advisor? Things like that. Those were mostly my responsibilities.
That's awesome. And that is a very broad experience that you gained. So,
Yes.
across different resources on campus and getting to meet with students one on one, as well as going to an event where there's getting exposure to lots of students. So, you gained a lot of really cool experiences within your internship. So, it leads me to my next question, which is do you find certain things that you learned in the internship that you're using now or that you can use in a future job?
Definitely. I think every single thing that I actually am doing and learning is definitely going to help me along the way. One of them being meeting students one on one. It's not just one kind of like students. You meet a lot of different kind, be it
Mhm.
races or anything. There are a lot of different students, and just meeting them kind of just teaches me or help me learn that there's a different approach to each
Mm,
student. So you can't use the same approaches to all of them. They understand differently.
sure.
Yeah, and it's just other than that, it's like just like meeting people in general.
Mhm.
The resources, like pointing fingers, like, oh my gosh, this is where you need to go if you need help. And
Sure.
I just feel like I can see myself doing that, and I know it's definitely gonna help me along the way. So
Sure.
I had so much fun, and I'll do it
Awesome.
again.
Oh, yay. That's so good. And I love how you said that you discovered while in your internship a piece of something that you could see yourself doing. So
Definitely.
that is a huge piece in internships is getting into the job, seeing if you are interested in it. Do you see yourself doing it? And learning something new as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this yet. But after getting the internship, I was like, okay, now I got a kind of an idea of what I'm putting myself through. More reading, obviously, a lot of reading, a lot of writing, but it's okay. It's all gonna be worth it. at the
Yeah,
end. So I'm like, yeah, I like this. So
absolutely.
yeah.
Very good. So is there one project that developed maybe a new skill or one project that was your favorite that you really remember that piece from the internship?
I would say I had to plan one event which was for the I think it was African American Museum. It was during that time of the Juneteenth, and
Okay.
I had to plan the event, and it was my first time doing it actually. So I was like, I remember I was telling Andrew that, yeah, no way I'm doing this, and he was like, well, at some point you'll have to plan, and I'm like,
Hmm.
and he was like, I see this as the best option, like the best first one for you to do because you know
Sure.
quite a lot about this, and you,
Mhm.
and I was like, nope. I'm not doing it. But at some point, I was like, okay, fine, then I'll just do it. I had Miss Alyssa help me with it, and we kind of just planned. So that was definitely a new skill. I had no idea how to make flyers,
Mm.
but I had to learn how to make flyers for that. And other than that, just how to like talk to students, telling them, so guys, I have this specific days and a date, and I would like you guys to like vote on which one do you think we should do this on. And
Yeah.
it was kind of cool because, God, talking to people, so many people, it was so hard. But throughout this whole internship, it was just great, and I like so many skills. But obviously, making flyers was one of them as well, because I had to like be creative and decorate the whole flyers. Because
Yeah.
Andrew will be like, "So make it pretty," and I'm like, "Okay, so how do I make it pretty?" But I did it, and that was fun.
Yeah, good. And being able to create flyers is something that you could use in any future job. I know even in my own role, we create flyers for our own events to promote.
Ah,
And so you learned a lot of good skills, event planning.
yes.
You also had encouragement from your supervisor and also Alyssa, who's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's awesome to hear. But to wrap up, I was just curious, two more questions. So, what was your specific process in finding an internship?
I remember that I had actually picked one at Four Oaks. It was kind of like where I was like, I'm going to do this one here. But
Hmm.
then some stuff happened and I kind of couldn't do it. So I had to wait
Hmm.
for the next semester. And I
Sure.
was just in the trio lab because I'm also a trio student. I did
Mhm.
receive so much help from this. I was like, getting an intern in there was so cool.
Hmm.
But I remember being in there and just saying, I have no clue where I'll get my internship
Hmm.
at because I need one if I want to, it's a requirement. I can't transfer without it. So I remember just saying I don't know where to get one. And then Andrew
Hmm.
was like, oh, did you know Trio actually offers internship? And I was like, why are you telling me that now? And he's like, well, because you never asked me. And I'm like, oh,
Ah.
okay, yeah, you're right. But yeah, no. So after that, he kind of offered it to me, and it was just great. I had to do lots of training. I had to read the grant. It was so many papers. I don't know how he writes it, but I had to read the whole thing, and it was kind of boring reading the grants. But I think I learned a lot from it and from
Good.
all the training that I did because Andrew was like, "We're gonna have you train as an advisor, just like how advisors train. We'll like have you go through that just so you learn
Sure.
everything you need to like. So if you need to step up, you can do it." And I was like, "Great." And so I did all the training and yeah, so finding it was it was my I was like, Andrew, you saved me. So I was glad.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it's great to share how you found your internship because students can be encouraged or have different ideas of how to find internships. And
Yeah.
we know we have Handshake and you know us now in career services. You can always reach out to us. But the huge thing that you mentioned is you found your internship through someone that you know or
Mm,
even just asking. So telling other people that you're looking for an internship is a great way to find them as well. So word of mouth.
yeah.
But awesome. Thank you so much. And to wrap up, what is one piece of advice that you would like to share with any other fellow Kirkwood students about internships or even about being a student?
Well, I will say that don't give up. One thing. Also about internship, eh, connections.
Mm,
Mostly it's about connections, especially like through your professors. For mine, it was kind of a class, and so I had Miss Amber, who was is my professor, and
mhm.
she has been a social work before.
Okay.
Before, so she knows all these little places that will like you can go do your internship at, and just going to them and actually asking them, "Hey, I need an internship, but where do you think I could like go look?" So it's on even if you don't know what you want to do in an internship, knowing where to like kind of go in order to
Mm.
like just like check or like know which one will be acceptable as an internship. Where could I possibly do an internship at? So just asking them, and then they will recommend some places. That's what they did. They recommend places once you
Mhm.
ask, and then it's your job to call those places, obviously, and find if you could get a position and somebody to supervise you as you do the internship. But definitely asking and getting those recommendation will definitely is the biggest part of it. And so moral of the story, don't be afraid to ask. You can definitely ask. There's so many resources around the
Mm.
school. There's so many people who can definitely just guide you in the right directions. And
Awesome.
don't be afraid to ask.
Great advice.
Yeah.
And you are doing all the things that we hope students do. So thank you again for sharing your experience and catch us next time.
Well, thank you so much for having me.